symbol of excellence in women's sports energy.
I'm David Pumpkins, y'all. Nope. I am Myndrunner, and welcome to a very spooktacular episode of Mission Pro Spooklight. And I am Myndrunner, and with me is the little Miss Bliss that looks like Alexa Bliss, play and pain. She is the guardian of Lily. I am talking about, of course, my co-host Angel Marie. Angel Marie, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, and so is Lily. She's very happy to be on here today.
Yes, special guest. Very good to have our special guest Lily on with us, and we'd love to get her input on our special Spooklight today. Tonight, of course, this is a special All Hallows Eve, Halloween, and we are going to be celebrating shining the Spooklight not on just one superstar, but the top 10 spooky gimmicks in women's wrestling of all time. And this was a very tough debate. We went back and forth. We had to move some folks on there. There might be some names that you would expect on there that aren't, and there might be some surprises. Let us know in the comments, who did we leave out? Let us know in the comments who you think doesn't belong there, or maybe do you think they should be higher or lower on the list. But Angel Marie, of course, you know, one of the kind of tipping our hat to one of the people on the list with your costume right there. So let's get started here, and let's go to our list. We the criteria, we actually debated about this because there are a lot of crazy wrestlers and there are a lot of dark wrestlers, but we want spooky, crazy, that kind of darkness that fits Halloween. For example, like, you can be a crazy wrestler but not necessarily spooky, right? Would you agree?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like AJ's crazy. AJ Lee is an example of like someone who's crazy, but she's not exactly spooky.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Now, do you like the spooky gimmicks? Do you like Halloween? Are you a big Halloween fan?
I don't know. I mean, like, most of my personal favorites are deranged, crazy, spooky girls. So, I don't know. Yes, I do. I love all the spooky characters. I'm all here for it. Alexa Bliss is actually one of the people who got me back into wrestling. And then obviously, we know that I love Tatum Paxley right now. So, I am all in for spooky characters.
Very cool. Well, let's get right to it. Here are our this is our spooky gimmicks. We're going to that top 5. What says top 5? We're actually going to go with top 10, and let's go with number 10. All right, kicking off at number 10, we are going way back to the 80s for one of the first real true spooky characters in women's wrestling. As myself, a Glow fan, and I know, Angel Marie, you got into Glow recently. Looking back, I was into Glow when it was first starting out, and we've got to talk about Dementia. I mean, just look at the picture there, holding the axe, the eyeshadow. To me, she was the premier spooky female wrestler character that kind of started that whole niche in women's wrestling. What are your thoughts on Dementia?
Yeah, I didn't grow up in the 80s, so I did not really get to see too much of Dementia, but I have recently done some digging on Glow, and from what I've seen of Dementia, I was like, ooh, okay, Miss Spooky, I love it. I love to see it, you know what I mean? So, honestly, I think I might go back and watch a couple more of her matches because, I mean, she looks awesome.
She does. And she would come to the ring. They would bring her in a cage. and then they would
Wow.
unleash her. Yeah, so she definitely fit that character mold. And one of the things I loved about Glow really spent a lot on character development. It was schlocky at times, but Dementia was really that psychotic character, and really put some legit fear. Like, she may really put an axe to your head if you're not careful. So I
don't want that.
I don't, we'll keep that. But we definitely feel like she belongs on our top 10. But move right along to number 9. All right, there wouldn't be a horror Scream Queen list without the Scream Queen herself, the late Daphne. Rest in peace, our beloved Scream Queen. She not only paved the way for that kind of spooky character, that kind of dark, gothy character, but she also paved the way for women in hardcore matches. Unfortunately, to her expense, where she suffered quite a bit of several concussions and injuries that ultimately led to her being in a very tough state and taking her own life. If you ever feel that way, please reach out to someone. There's hot helplines out there. We really feel terrible about this, but she definitely belongs in this legendary list of spooktacular characters. She's another one of those characters that really embrace the hardcore danger, psychotic horror character, and the scream she had, that ear-piercing scream she had was tremendous. So definitely belongs on number 9. Angel Marie, have you had much experience looking back at some of Daphne's matches?
Yeah, I don't really know. Again, I don't really know too much about Daphne, but from what I did see, that she definitely was a trailblazer, especially for someone like Tatum Paxley. That Tatum Paxley she's come out and said that she's very inspired by Daphne, and like from what I've seen of her, I was like, oh my gosh, like beautiful, just beautiful character work. I love it.
Can you see a similarity in the Daphne picture here and Tatum Paxley?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I feel like honestly, I see it in like the smile. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Daphne's influenced a lot of characters, but I think that Tatum Paxley's character is definitely, she could pass as her little sis, maybe
Yes,
or her niece or something like that. But
that'd be cute.
we could not have this list complete without Daphne somewhere on the list, and we thank you, Daphne, for your contributions to women's wrestling. Let's move on to the Ocho. Ooh, that gave me the willies there a little bit. There we got, of course, it's Mission Pro, and we can't do a Mission Pro wrestling list without acknowledging the spooky badass. She is the Thunderdome, thick thighs, and badass Holodead herself, who I think is in the best shape of her career right now. She made a surprise return at Mission Pro Mania, and I'm super excited that to see what she's doing in her future. I hope she gets to finally get AEW or WWE signed at some point. But we've got to put Holodead on here. Nobody does it better than Holodead at this. I would say spooky, but also she leans more into the crazy as well. And she was one half of the Twisted Sisters with Thunder Rosa. Angel Marie, your thoughts on Holodead?
Yeah, I love Holodead. From what I've seen from like the shows I've been to live that I've seen her, I'm like, oh my gosh, like she's like that like really nice mix of crazy, but at the same time like spooky. I'm like, ooh, like I love her. She's just like, and like she'll just randomly just like start yelling sometimes too, and I'm like, it's so hilarious. I'm like, I love it. Freaking Holodead is awesome.
And there was a spell where she was a bit injured, but she still maintained a presence on commentary. She's hilarious. You got to go back. You got to listen to one of my favorite moments was Maddie Rinkowski, of course, now Rin Sinclair, got on commentary with her. And there were some moments where Maddie was seriously concerned for her life and sitting next to Holiday. But great stuff. But again, we had to have Holiday on the list. Let's move on to number 7.
Number 7.
All right, we're cheating a little bit here because we actually have 2 wrestlers, but they're kind of in tandem. One could argue that Rosemary belongs on this list separately by herself. I get it, but we had this great debate. We decided that right now, the work that Rosemary and Wendy Chu are doing together deserve their own spot on this list. I feel like they enhance each other because I feel like Rosemary by herself was just another spooky character. Wendy Chu, when she started leaning into this nightmare versus the sleepy girl, has really been an enhancement. But the 2 of them together, I feel like it's a synergy. It's like peanut butter and chocolate. I feel like they're really playing very well off of each other. And this crossover, they continue to keep this connection of this crossover between TNA and WWE and NXT. And I'm all for it. What about you, Angel Marie?
Yeah, I love it. Like, I loved Wendy, like, as, like, her little cute, like, little sleepy time character. But then when she came back as this, like, I still am kind of sleepy, but you know what? I'm crazy too. Like, I'm like, ooh, I love it. And then her paired up with Rosemary has, like, bring Rosemary to a whole new light because there's, like, a little bit of a bigger audience at like NXT. So it's brought a lot of more people to see Rosemary and then wanting to see more of her, like me. So then you end up going to TNA and watching more of her stuff there. So that's like, that's also another really good thing about it, is that it gives more light to her and then also to TNA as well. But their pairing is honestly one of my favorite pairings, like, of all time. Yes. They're awesome.
Very good. And I love the dynamic is great. Who's whispering in whose ear? Are they both kind of together? It's been fantastic to watch. That's why they are on our list together at number 7. But we've got to move up the list.
Number 6.
All right. This probably was the most debated character on our list. She was close to number 1 at one point. She was actually at number 1 at one point. Then she went down further. Then she came back as we clarified the full definition of what we're looking for. And she ultimately landed on number 6. But we're talking about Alexa Bliss, specifically the Lily character. Lily, hello. The Lily character on this list because of the tie-in with the Fiend, and you know what Bray Wyatt did with the Fiend is phenomenal, and I feel like it didn't quite get the full attention that it deserved. Perhaps creative at the time didn't have that. We're wondering if she's going to come back as the Lily character, or she's going to come back more as the goddess character. But to me, she, love it or hate it, this transformation from who Alexa Bliss used to be, that spiteful character, this was such a phenomenal transformation, and she embraced it. She ran with it. She made it her. She didn't half-ass it, and she really turned this character. She really put all of herself into this character. And just when I asked Angel Marie, I mean, I can't tell by your costume right now, but what did you think of Alexa Bliss with Lily?
Yeah, so this has like a lot of personal bias behind it because Alexa, like the specifically the dark character that she had with like the Fiend, that is what got me back into wrestling. So I have so much love for it. That's literally why I made like a whole custom Lily and everything. But yeah, so it's like it's a certain chunk of like the character, like it's a certain timeline that it was like at its peak, and that's the part that I'm talking about that like gets it up to number 6. But it's the other parts that bring it down, because there were certain parts where like the booking was off, and then also like it felt like they just didn't know where they were going to go with her, so they didn't really know what to do with her and how to utilize her. So that's kind of what bring her down to 6.
Understood. Well, I agree 1,000% with that, but still deserves to be on the list. but you're absolutely right. It's going to be interesting to see where the booking goes. But we have others to talk about on this list, including number 5. Now, this is somebody that I recently introduced Angel Marie to. And Angel Marie you've kind of known about Su Yung, but I shared one of my favorite matches with you. Su Yung versus Yuka Sakazaki. What did you think of that match?
Yeah, I I love the match. It was so hilarious because Yuka was just like at the beginning. That, oh my gosh, that had me dying. But the rest of the match I really enjoyed because I really don't know who Su Yung is. I believe I had seen her a little bit before of what you had shown me, but honestly I do not remember. But yeah, I loved what I saw from the little bit that I saw from the not even 15-minute match that I saw. Love her.
And she's another one of those that really kind of embraces almost that almost like the ring girl a little bit, with a little bit of that kabuki demon kind of character. And she TNA for a little bit, they put her in a suit and had her almost like, I think she was Mrs. Young or something like that for a little bit. I forget what the character was, but it just didn't stick because then she went right back to Su Yung. Recently, I also understand that our own Nair Robles tangled up with her. When I first had Nair on, one of her matches, they had this brutal fight where they ended up fighting with hockey sticks. It was like a hardcore match. And she's definitely one to put the scare in you, not shy about blood. She's got to be on this list. And I hope we can see her again. Perhaps at some point we can shine a specific spotlight on her and have her join our podcast. But for right now, she is at our number 5 position. But let's move on to number 4. I think that said number 4, not number 5. I'm pretty sure it did. Oh. Well, number 4 is our very, I don't know, who is this person, Angel Marie?
I don't think I've ever seen her before. I don't think I've ever dressed inspired by her. I don't think I'm inspired by her at all because of her character. No, I'm kidding. Okay. This is Tatum Paxley. I love Tatum Paxley. She's been awesome. Her work in NXT has just been awesome. And at the beginning of her career in NXT, she hadn't really been doing much. She was with, I believe it was Diamond Mine, and she was with Ivy Nile, but she was kind of just I don't want to for lack of a better word, she was kind of a generic character. Mm-hmm. But whenever she turned to this darker character, a lot more people have seen her, and she's risen in fame. And so I think her character work has been amazing, and she's a little spooky gal. We love it.
I like, she's another example of a Toni Storm or, some of these wrestlers that they're not quite comfortable in their own skin till they find that gimmick. And it's like kismet. Yes. It's like a glove. It just fits perfectly. This character that she's playing with the dolls and this playtime and kind of, it really is fitting her character. It's entertaining to watch. And you can tell she's having fun being this character. Just like Toni Storm is eating it up being the character she's playing. You can tell when a wrestler is really feeling themselves. And we had to have Tatum Paxley on here. I know some of you might, what is she at number 4? I'll tell you why she's at number 4, because she's pretty awesome. That's why she's at number 4. Exactly. And, we love her and we're excited to see what she's going to do going forward. Just don't mess with her playtime. That's what we ought to say. Mm-hmm. But still, we have even more spooktacularness at number 3. Number 3. Yes. Nice,
it's hard to put on with my pigtails.
Number,
there we go, kind of.
Who is number 3, Angel Marie?
This is none other than the princess of the Black Throne, Miss Julia Hart. And oh my gosh, she went from a happy-go-lucky cheerleader. She was always pumped up, varsity blonde. She had the most just happiest energy ever. And then she was like, screw you guys, I'm going with Malachi. I'm going with Malachi and the rest of the House of Black. But I mean, technically, she was, what's the word? Like, lured into the house.
Yeah,
she kind of got
corrupted.
brainwashed a little bit there. Yeah, she got a little bit corrupted, a little bit brainwashed there. And then she went into the house, and now she's thriving. I believe is she still out with injury right now?
Yeah, but she's recently posted videos of her back in training, and like she's got a little hourglass, so she could return at any moment. I'd love to see her return at full gear and face Mercedes, and challenge Mercedes Moné. What I love is, like you touched on, the storyline transformation, how she got misted in the face, and she slowly went from the cheerleader into this darker character, and now she's the princess of the Black Throne. However, the shoot story with this whole thing, and she's talked about it, is just as fascinating, if not more. It started out, she was Julia, and she was a cheerleader, and that was kind of her gimmick in it. And it was exciting at first with the varsity blondes, but it got to a point really early on where she was kind of like, you could see her kind of like gritting her teeth, like even she was getting sick of it, like doing the Julia like this. She made fast friends with Anna Jay, and she and Anna Jay would joke around with each other. And at the time, I think Anna Jay was still Dark Order. What was interesting is that she actually, like, they did the spray to the eyes was just one of the gimmick, but Julia actually reached out to Malachi and everybody and said, hey, what if I run with this? Can I join you guys? And at first, of course, they didn't really understand. They're thinking, what, the cheerleader is going to join the House of Black? But as they got to know Julia and they pitched ideas, and she advocated for this. And Malachi Black and Brody King were huge advocates for her. And then there was a funny moment where Brody King's wife took Julia shopping, and they were talking about, and she asked her, like, what music do you listen to? And they were expecting like Taylor Swift and this and that. And she started talking about all these like metal bands and these like goth groups, and they're blown away by this. And of course, Brody King is he's also does metal rock shows. They really hit it off. She really embraced his character. And if you're going back at some of her earlier matches, she seemed very insecure. Like, you could tell she was kind of second guessing herself. As Julia Hart, and the work that she's put in, you could tell she's a fish to water with this new character. I can't wait to see her back. And she's such a more compelling version of herself, as I like to call her, Julia Blackheart. But, Julia Hart.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely lovely. And surprisingly, we actually had her at number 2, but instead, number 2 belongs to again. We went back and forth. This could have been our number 1. She was also, in fact, when we were going to have 2 separate lists, we both had her tied at number 3. We both chose Nikki Cross, aka Sister Abigail, at number 3. But we've got to give our credit to number 2, Nikki Cross. Angel Marie, I'm going to have you talk about her current incarnation, but I want to talk a little bit about from the beginning when she first joined NXT and started becoming this, sanity character, the escape from the mental institution, just really out there. The whole I've got a secret, I knew what you did. This whole thing with Malachi Black and Velveteen Dream and all this. It was such a compelling character. I did like her when she was with Alexa Bliss, and I feel like they did drop the ball where I think instead of going with that superhero character, which I understand she had her reasons for, I would have loved for Nikki Cross to have said, I've got to go back to my crazy self to save Alexa from the Fiend and like turn back. But that didn't happen. However, Angel Marie, we see Nikki Cross returning as part of the Wyatt Six. What is your take of Nikki Cross as this character?
Yeah, so I didn't really see too much of her sanity character, but from what I've seen, like I love that too. But speaking on her Wyatt Six character, oh my gosh, she has played it perfectly. Like her whole demeanor is just perfect, and like with the Nikki ASH character, like it was cute at first. Honestly, I was a fan of Nikki ASH. It was cute at first, but then I was like, and now that like she's like back into this dark character of Sister Abigail, like she is so perfect for dark roles like this. Like she just plays it so perfectly, honestly.
Yeah, she does, and it's another one of those fits like a glove. I feel like she's having fun again, and this is definitely, you know, this what a great homage to Bray Wyatt. You know, we could talk about we can talk about it. Spend a whole hour on Bray Wyatt and his influence, but this has been such a great
for sure
character. I feel like she's back where she in a character that she needs to be to really enjoy what she's doing. We're loving it. Keep it up, Nikki. We look forward to continuing to watch Sister Abigail spook the crap out of everybody in the WWE Galaxy universe of multiverse or what have you. But she's only number 2 because there's only one when it comes to fully embracing a horror spooky character 24/7. There can be only one number 1. And that is our girl Abby Badonkadonk. Abaddonk herself, Abaddon. Angel Marie, do you feel like we made the right decision for number 1?
I think so, and I was really caught off guard by Abby Badonkadonk.
That's actually what Heidi Howitzer calls her. So Abaddon.
Really?
Yeah. But yeah, Abaddon. Let's talk about Abaddon, Angel Marie. Your thoughts on her character and kind of how she's evolved over the years.
Yeah, I love Abaddon so much. Like I've only seen Abaddon like recently within like the past like maybe year or so. I've known of her existence, but from what I've seen, I'm like, ooh, they are perfect. I'm like, I love Abaddon, bro. Like the like even online, like they don't really post like out of character too much. Like whenever like they're posting pictures of themselves, like they're covering their face, and like if they're like out of face paint, but if not, like if they're in face paint, like they'll just post like that, right? But it's like so committed to like not showing their face too, which is crazy. But yeah, it's like they have a lot of dedication towards that character, and I love those kinds of people whenever they just run with it and they go with it and they are super dedicated, because I'm a person that's like that. Whenever I do something, like I get super dedicated and I don't half-ass it. I go all in, and that's exactly what Abaddon has been doing.
I love that I love Abaddon. I've been a fan since I first saw them. Like their first match, it was a dark I think it was a dark match, but when they did the whole Undertaker thing, when they rose up and they did this like the backwards crab, and I think it was against Hikaru Shida. But Abaddon has been I've been a huge fan of Abaddon, and I'm so glad that they're getting like a lot of time in ROH. They are scaring the beesies out of Athena, and Athena's really selling it too. I love it how Athena's not afraid of anybody else except Abaddon. And like, I don't know if you've been following Ring of Honor lately. Yeah, Abaddon's been showing up, and I think there's going to be a title challenge. I personally think it's time to drop it to Abaddon. Let Athena go to the AEW main roster. let Abaddon have her title reign for quite a while. But we're huge fans. Nobody like a lot of these other wrestlers. They embrace their character. But Abaddon, I believe, is like I would believe that Abaddon is 24/7, but also the work that they've put in, like you said on Instagram, the hard work to body sculpting, health, getting better in the ring, just the dedication, like 100% dedicated to this business. They love it. They have all the support as well. And I love that they're getting the support and where they need to. I just think it's time, she's a fan favorite. And if you haven't had a chance to check out, you got to check out her appearance on RJ City's Hey AEW. She breaks character for a second, but not really. But it's one of those things where she goes, and then she turns into this. Well, actually, let me tell you about that. But there's a bunch of cool spots with that whole thing. There's also an interview she did a long time ago with Lexi Nair, where she communicated with a dry erase board, and then tried to eat her. Great stuff. But
I wouldn't be surprised.
Abaddon, you're our number one. Congratulations. You are our Spooklight champion. And we could not give this to a better, more deserving zombie, if you will. So, there you have it. There is our spooktacular. That is our spooktacular Mission Pro Spooklight. And let us know in the comments, did we leave anybody out? I know Sky Blue was mentioned a couple times. We mentioned Isla Dawn. We mentioned a few others. But let us know in the comments who you think we missed on the list. Is there somebody you thought should have been higher, should have been lower? Or is there somebody you felt like didn't belong on the list? Like, why did you put this person? Get them out. Let us know. Give us some feedback. But other than that, it's time for us to go trick-or-treating. So we want to give everybody happy Halloween. Any final spectacular thoughts or messages for everybody, Angel?
Stay safe, for sure. Stay safe if you're going out trick-or-treating, please, because it can get pretty spooky out there, to say the least. Lily, you got anything? Okay. She just wants to say bye.
Bye, Lily. Bye. Well, on behalf of Lily, Angel Marie, and all the spooky Mission Pro family out there, this is Myndrunner. And remember, let me check your chocolate for contraband before you eat it, because I want to make sure that you're safe. Just like your parents said, oh, there might be razor blades in the chocolate bars. And then you see their face covered in chocolate. Oh, I couldn't find any. Yeah, exactly. All right, happy Halloween. Stay safe, everybody. Stay hydrated, and we love you. We'll see you next week.